All right, good afternoon, everybody. We're going to get going with the program. Please continue to eat. Enjoy your meal. Enjoy the person who should have showed up next to you, their meal too. Eat several of them. It's okay. We don't have any college kids in here now. Otherwise, you'd be seeing them with go boxes and stuff. So, you know, that's what you do when you're in college. I'm Donald Carey, and I am the president of the Idaho State Bar for another 20 or maybe 30 hours or something like that. So it's been a complete honor to serve in that capacity as your bar president. Welcome to the awards luncheon today. Today we're going to honor the 2021 Service Award recipients and Section of the Year awards. But before we get started here, I want to introduce, I forgot to do it this morning and I want to do it. I want to introduce your Board of Commissioners. Starting with Kurt Holzer. Kurt, would you stand up? Kurt represents the 4th District, and while we're on the 4th District, keep standing. Kristen Borkman Dunn is also the 4th District. Kurt is the senior representative, as you can tell. Hey, Kristen has been on a year, will be here 2 years. Kurt is going into his third year on the commission. We also have, where's Anne-Marie? Anne-Marie Fulfer, where are you? Oh, there she is. Anne-Marie is the incoming president of the bar, and she represents the 1st and 2nd district up in North Idaho. And then we have Laird Stone. Did Laird go to the bathroom again? He's a senior member of the bar, so you never know. Anyway, when he gets in, I'll shout him out. And then Gary Cooper. Gary, why don't you stand up there? Gary is newly elected to the Board of Commissioners, will be representing the 6th and 7th District beginning on Friday. So that's your Board of Directors. So, and I'll let, thank you. And then I want to welcome my personal friend and the president of the Idaho Law Foundation, Carrie Campos. Carrie, would you stand up? Wave to the crowd, twirl around, come on, twirl around. All right. And the Law Foundation Board of Directors, and I don't have a list of who they are, but you're going to take care of that. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. We have to pay the bill, so let's give a shout out to our sponsors. Our platinum sponsor is the Bank of Idaho, 4th District Bar Association. We really appreciate the support they have given us, the Idaho Central Credit Union, and our gold sponsor is Clio and the University of Idaho College of Law. So let's give them a round of applause as well. Please visit the vendors out here. They come here to rub shoulders and elbows with us. It's an important thing. They're supporting us. Let's support them back, okay? Let's do that. All right. Let's see, if you have a passport in your package, and if you fill out your passport and you get it stamped by all the vendors out there, you can win prizes. The first one is a $250 Visa gift card, and the second one is a $100 Visa gift card. But if you don't visit all the sponsors, you're not getting in, and that's just the way it is. Sorry, no exceptions. All right, the August issue of The Advocate is on your table. Please take one. They have the honorees and the attorney honorees and the sections and all kinds of really good stuff in there. So take it, read it. It's suitable for sitting on the waiting room table in your conference room. And if your picture's in there, you might open it up and put a Post-it note on that so people, when they come to your office, you get it. You know, you go, see, I'm an important person. So you just stick that in there. So attorneys and judges will each receive a copy of that particular edition of The Advocate in August. So now I have no other remarks other than to introduce Commissioner Kurt Holzer from the 4th District, who's going to take care of some awards for us. Do you need this? All right.
Thanks, Don. Thank you. I get to give out the service awards, and it's an interesting thing. You know, we give these out every year for lawyers and non-lawyers for service to the bar. But you know, in watching last night's presentation of the Professionalism Awards and the Distinguished Lawyer Awards and the Distinguished Judge Award, it occurs to me that in some ways these are the most important awards, these service awards, because these are the people who give something more than merely taking care of our clients. Every one of those people who gets the awards last night does that same thing, but this is the component of who we are as a profession that is that extra thing that we do. You know, it is in, you know, it's in service to others that we find ourselves. It's in service to others that we find and become part of our community. You know, I went out and looked up a bunch of quotes on service. I went, okay, I agree with all those, so I'm not gonna share any particular one with you, but recognize that this group sitting here and anybody who's watching, that is a piece of what we have to do. So it's my pleasure to, let's see, get one at a time here. It's my pleasure to give you a little background on each of the service award recipients. You know, their plaques all say, in recognition of exemplary service to the legal profession and to Idaho citizens, and presented by the commissioners. The first person who receives one today is Leslie Hayes. Leslie is a Deputy AG in the Civil Litigation Division. She represents the Department of Human Resources in cases brought against the state officials and employees. She is a role model and strives to be a role model for children, showing them the importance of this piece of who we are, giving back to the community. She's been very active in her section for several years. She serves on the governing council of the appellate practice and litigation sections, and on the board of the Idaho Women Lawyers, one of the most active groups in our state. She's also been one of the wonderful people, and if you want to come to Lewiston and join us here next, when is it, Maureen, that we're grading in Lewiston? In April, next April, come up and join us in Lewiston, grading bar exams. Grading bar exams is good fun, but it's also good hard work. So, Leslie, come on up. Where are we? Oh, there you are. You have. Congratulations. Awesome. Over here. Do the grip and grip. I like that we have the state flag as our background on that. The next recipient is somebody who came to our state not long ago and has made a huge impact, both in academia and as she serves currently on the senior leadership team of the College of Idaho, where she works as vice president of high impact practices, and where she previously serves as the director of clinical education, the associate dean of academics, and then the interim dean of Concordia Law School. Her focus currently is on innovation and blurring the lines between college and careers. She served as a member of the ABA's Standing Committee on Pro Bono and Public Service, the Legal Advisory Council for the Fair Punishment Project, and another step in the service to her community. She was recently confirmed as a commissioner of the Capital City Development Corporation, Boise City's Redevelopment and Urban Renewal Agency. A hand for Latonia Haney-Keith. Talent, good fortune, knowledge, they're things that should be shared with others. And Melissa Luna does that by making serving her community a top priority. She is admitted to practice of law in Idaho and in that other state that people confuse us with, Ohio, not the Iowa one, the Ohio one. They get them both wrong. She has practiced criminal, employment, estate administration, and other civil law. She has held positions conducting various discrimination and harassment investigations and has spent time providing trainings for educational institutions in these arenas. She served as an Americans with Disabilities Act coordinator and is a shareholder in our firm, Landeck, Forsyth, and Luna since 2019. She served in the Reasonable Accommodations Committee since 2018 and currently serves as the committee chair. A hand for Melissa Luna, please. Edith never made it, right? I don't think so. The next person is a friend of mine, and I got to say the name of his firm a bunch of times. My favorite day of the year is when we do some bike racing out here in downtown Boise, and I get to make people listen to me talk about bike racing for about 8 or 10 hours for the course of the day. But it was sponsored by a new firm in town, Bailey & Glasser. Nick Warden works at Bailey & Glasser, and he's a commercial litigator in the agricultural industry primarily. He does employment litigation and complex litigation. Public service, he's one of these people who understands that public service is the heart and soul of what we do. He served as an officer of the 4th District Bar Association. He's received in the past the Denise O'Donnell Day Pro Bono Award. He teaches classes as an adjunct faculty member at Boise State, and he serves on the board of a local performing arts organization. He's a graduate of the Idaho Academy of Leadership for Lawyers. Applications are going to be open soon, and if you know lawyers who should be involved, that's a great thing. He's previously received a pro bono award, and Nick serves as the 2021 4th District Bar President. With his leadership, the district bar led to the multiple free CLE webcasts that I think many of us took for bar members, and help support this event, and has a continuing commitment to the 4th District Bar during this year that we lived through. A big hand for Nick Warden, please. Thanks, Gary. So our last recipient that we're going to I'll talk about today, there are a few people who were recipients who are identified in your advocate that's on there. Kevin Borger, Judge Culett, Nicole Hancock, Steve Robertson, and Amanda Ulrich. They are also recipients this year who are unable to make it today, and Edith Pachillo as well. And you can read about them in your advocate there. But our last one is a non-lawyer. Oh, she did make it. Oh, there. Okay, well, we'll go ahead and do you last then, because you came in late and I didn't realize you were here. But this is Dr. Dennis Woody, and Dr. Woody won't remember this, but I was maybe a 9-month lawyer when I sat down for the first time with a treating professional with my trying to figure out what was going on with my injured young client who had suffered a brain injury, and I'm overwhelmed by trying to talk to this guy. It's the first time I had been sent off by the lawyers I was working for, and it's just the kindness towards me and the concern towards his patient and my client was one of those things that is exemplary, and it's reflected in his work with the bar too on the Reasonable Accommodations Committee. He is the person who serves as an expert regarding accommodations decisions for people taking bar exams and needing a little bit extra. He has a Bachelor of Science in Elementary Education and Child Development, a Bachelor of Arts in Psychology, a Master of Science in Clinical Psychology, and a doctorate in Clinical Psychology. And he has a postdoctorate in clinical neuropsychology. He recognizes that the importance of community service comes from an appreciation he has for the role of a psychologist and his ability to contribute to the improvement of people's lives. A big hand and a great appreciation. Dr. Dennis Woody. All right, so I thought she wasn't here, but she was, and so I got a chance to talk about Edith. She's one of those people who wants people to get involved. Don't wait to be asked, take charge. That's one of the things we as lawyers need to do. She's currently an associate general counsel at the University of Idaho. She's served in the office of the Idaho and the New Hampshire Attorney General's office. She's been in private and public sectors. She's a co-founder of Attorneys for Civic Education, which I think we have some slides that are going to come back up if they aren't up now, and is still actively involved in several of their projects, all focused on civic education. I think that's something we all recognize in our current social environment we need. Civic education in Idaho schools, and helping to spark interest and respect for our legal system in young people's minds. Big hand for Edith Pachilla. Oops.
I was out doing service. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, so those are the folks who are here. Like I said, the ones who weren't here, you can read about in your advocate. So I get to introduce somebody whose name I had known a bunch, but I've only gotten to know him over the last year. I'd heard his name. He's been around for a long time. My colleague, Commissioner Stone, Laird Stone out of Twin Falls, who's going to introduce the Section of the Year Award. I have to say that Laird is the first person I have ever met who has now 2 stories about being introduced in public as Jesus Christ. So, Laird.
A couple housekeeping items first. Don, you were right. Thanks. I did wander down the hall. Missed that introduction. I'll thank Don Chisholm for his remarks last night. I've known Don quite a while, and he was very, very worthy of that award, and it was my pleasure to call him to let him know about that award. And real briefly, the other time that reference came up, I was down in Las Vegas for a seminar years and years ago, and Red Fox was entertaining. I bought tickets. I went in. I was going to sit at the back of the room, and the maitre d' said, "No, Mr. Fox wants you to sit way up here." Takes me up the front. I'm on a table by myself. He comes out, introduces himself, and goes into his routine and says, "Even famous people come to see me." And as he points down, he says, "Even Jesus Christ is here." Spotlight hits me. For the next 10 minutes, those were the cleanest things that Red Fox had to say about me. Well, and the other thing that Kurt didn't mention, it turns out in checking that I am currently, although I'm one of the newer commissioners, in age I am now one of the oldest, if not the oldest, on the Bar Commission, so I do appreciate that honor. The Section of the Year Award, the State Bar has numerous sections, very outstanding sections, but it's my privilege this year to present the Section of the Year Award, which recognizes a bar section's outstanding service to the bar, the area of practice in the profession, and the community. This year, the award goes to the Child Protection Section. The section was formed in 2018 to promote quality representation and to encourage collaboration with the judiciary and practitioners who work with children and families. And a lot of the things that they do impact my practice since I deal with family law and highly contested custody cases. To realize their goals, the section has planned multiple CLE programs, received grant funding from the Idaho Governor's Task Force on Children, support programs, created a video to celebrate Foster Care Awareness Day, supported a service project to purchase suitcases for children in foster care so they wouldn't have to use garbage bags to move their belongings from foster care to foster care and then hopefully back into an adoptive family or back into their real family. They're co-sponsoring a 2022 issue of The Advocate as well. The section leadership and members are committed to making a difference in the lives of Idaho children and families, and I think in just a few short years they have really accomplished a lot and are continuing to accomplish that on a daily basis. So congratulations to the Child Protection section and its members for their efforts to help those children and those families. And it's my understanding that Galen Carlson, the past chair of the section, and Krista Howard, the current chair, are here someplace. Now, the next person I'm going to introduce, I had the opportunity to serve on the Idaho Law Foundation. I took Mike Felton Jr.'s position. My appointment only lasted 1 year because that's when I put my name back in to run for bar commissioner. I guess I got to take this opportunity before I introduce that person to Bob Weatherall. Mr. Weatherall's out here someplace. And there he is over here. He was bar president a number of years ago, and I ran for bar commissioner, and a historical event happened. Dennis Voorhees, who's sitting over here, past commissioner, and I had a dead heat. It was a tie out of the 3rd and 5th district. Never happened before in the history of the bar. We tried to figure out a way to break that tie. We suggested that my partner, Russ Quanvig, a former bar president, draw cards. He declined, so it fell back up to Mr. Weatherall. Well, at that time, Bob wanted to make sure that he was honest, forthright, and nothing went wrong with that. Brad Andrews put our name into a bowl, and he drew out Dennis's name, and Mr. Weatherall apologized a couple times for that. But I want to tell you, thank you for not drawing my name that year. And to Dennis, I'm glad that you had an excellent time on the commission. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Carrie Campos, the president of the Idaho Law Foundation, to conduct the remainder of the meeting.
Good afternoon. My name is Carrie Campos, and I'm the current president of the Idaho Law Foundation, and this is our annual meeting portion where we get to vote on a few things. So I am not going off script, Dawn, like you did last night. I am going to strictly stick to Diane's script that she has kindly written out for me. She probably figured I'd screw it up way too bad otherwise. So we have the Idaho Law Foundation annual reports. They are on the tables. This report contains information on foundation activities for the past year. If you want to spend a minute to look through that, if you have any questions, you can ask any one of the board of directors. I'd like to acknowledge the board of directors that are here today. Kimberly Ratcher. Yep, thank you. Sunrise Ayers. Dean Johanna Kalb. And Justice Horton. And David McGuire. I'll give these guys a round of applause. So this is, the bylaws just basically say whoever shows up is a quorum. So we will establish right now that we have a quorum because we had some members show up. So really, they didn't have to show up, Dawn. for lunch. Okay, so we do have to have approval of the 2020 annual meeting minutes, and those minutes can be found on the back of the annual meeting agenda, which is also on your table. If you want to take a minute to review, I will entertain a motion to approve those minutes. Yeah. Okay, all in favor? Thank you. We also have to, the next business item is the election of board members. The nominating committee exists of David McGuire, Lynette Davis, and me. And we are presenting the following slate of candidates for next year's board of directors. Sunrise Ayers, she's a current board of director. Honorable Rick Baller, current board of director. Honorable Robin M. Brody, which would be a new incoming board of director. And Kendra Hansen from Eagle, also a new board of director. We did have some votes cast by proxy, and I don't know if that's on your table as well. But in addition, let's see, I don't know. Let me see if I can read this. So we do need to make a motion to approve those candidates for the board of directors. Okay, all in favor? Okay, so the other item of business is the board, when the Concordia Law School came on board, we amended our bylaws because we've always had the dean of the University of Idaho Law School as a member of our board of directors. And we amended our bylaws a few years ago to include the dean of the Concordia Law School. So we no longer have Concordia Law School. So we are amending our bylaws again. We went through several discussions about whether we should amend the bylaws to encompass future law schools, but what we decided to do is just go back to the old original language, which would just have the dean of the University of Law School be a board of director. I think the red lines are also on the table. Does anyone have any questions about the amendment to the bylaws? If not, I'll take a motion to accept those bylaws. Thank you. All in favor? Okay. So congratulations to the newly elected board members. And we want to give a special thanks to the retiring members of the board. The retiring members this year are Justice Joel Horton, Dean Jerry Long, and Lisa Nordstrom. And we do have plaques for Justice and Sunrise. Lisa, sorry. So if you would like to come up and get your... Oh, that's right. Sunrise is the secretary. She tried to get out of it. I tried to let you off the hook. Thank you. Picture. I'll be Lisa.
Okay, good enough.
And Lisa Nordstrom, did I see her here? Oh, okay, well, we'll get that to her later. So usually the new board of directors gets together after this, so I'll ask the new board of directors to maybe congregate back here because we will elect then the officers. We do have the officers pre-slated, and so the officers for next year will be, I will serve as president again for next year. The vice president will be Fonda Jovic, and the treasurer will be Travis Stritt, and Ayers will be the secretary. But we will officially make those elections after this lunch. So again, we'll try and meet over here to do that. So throughout the lunch, we've been showing a PowerPoint presentation with the highlights of our foundation and our programs. So we want to give a special thanks to all the many volunteers that support our Idaho Law Foundation activities and programs. We really couldn't accomplish our goals without the many hours contributed by the volunteers. I'll also give a shout out to the employees of the Idaho Law Foundation. They work, they do the job of 5 people, so I'd like to give a shout out to them as well. Also, yes, thank you, good clap, yeah. So I think the last, we always try and put something on your table that makes it really convenient for you to donate to the Law Foundation General Fund. There are a lot of really good causes out there, and we all get inundated with donation requests. But if you could take a moment to look at that, fill it out. We've also made it really easy. You can actually just point your phone at that QR code that just passed by and donate. And then we also have a QR code here on this. If you just want to take a minute and consider a donation, that would be fantastic. Let's see. Well, with that being the program update, oh, there's a QR code, so everyone can see if you point your phone up there right now. We have been running our program updates, so if you have any questions, I mentioned this early, just go ahead and ask any one of us board of directors. And I think that will conclude. I'll adjourn our annual meeting. I'd also like to introduce our new incoming president of the bar, Anne Marie Fulfer. There she is. Anne-Marie and I go back a little bit. Her and her husband were in law school at the same time. My husband was in law school at University of Idaho. We were having kids at the same time and, just kind of getting through that rough part of life. And years later, our kids unknowingly met up. They're still friends. They went back to University of Idaho, go Vandals, and they ended up hanging out and realizing that we had a connection here. Anne-Marie currently serves as commissioner from the 1st and 2nd District, and she is the Assistant Dean of Career Development at the University of Idaho, so law school. I'd like to give a welcome to Anne-Marie. That's it for you. I'll shake your hand.
Okay, can you hear me? Hi, it is my pleasure today to honor Don Carey, who is, as he announced, 29 hours from going off the board. Don and I have served together for 2 years, much of it on a Zoom camera, but turns out you can still have some vibrant conversations over Zoom, right? It's a big commitment to be a commissioner. It's a lot of hours of volunteering, and Don is part of a 2-person law firm, and so he's taking out of his practice for the work he's been doing the last 3 years, and I'd like to just say thank you, Don. And I have something for you. Also, Don and I are both Rotarians, so we had that in common. Something we don't have in common is I have not run 14 marathons, much less one. But I find that amazing. So there's that.
Thank you. Don't go away. This is still your show. Last night at the award dinner, we heard a lot of people get awards for a number of different accomplishments. And somebody pointed it out, and I think it was Commissioner Holzer, that the thing that they remembered most about their career was usually the thing that was the least remunerative. In other words, the volunteer services that they did, the pro bono that they did, the helping of people that needed help but couldn't afford and had no other place to look for it. So there is joy in service. And so I encourage that. It's been an honor and a joy to serve as your president and as your commissioner, and I thank you all for that opportunity. Thank you. And you are in good hands with this commission.
I am completely off script, so we're done? Are we adjourned? All right. Thank you all so much. I just want to remind everyone that the reception tomorrow evening is going to be, tonight, sorry, it's Thursday, right? If it's Thursday, there's a reception tonight here. Don't go to another hotel I won't even name so that it gets in your head. Come here tonight at 5:30, all right, to honor those who have been attorneys for 50, 60, 70 years. We were going to have a 70-year recipient tonight, so, and plus the 25 and 40, but, all right. Thank you all so much. And if you have received a plaque, your handy plaque protectors are up here.